Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm at a bit of a loss as to where to begin. The war is deepening and the dangers seem to be increasing. It's been a period of mourning and it's a period of hopefulness. We're called upon to do what we can to lend support to Israel. That's through our words. It's also through the organizations that we support. We have to do that, and we have to do something. It's been gratifying to see how most of the Jewish world stands together. This is a moment where we are truly one. What I'd like to do, however, is to reflect a little bit on what does it mean to go into Shabbat. Abraham Joshua Heschel referred to Shabbat as a sanctuary in time. We know that we create this island that separates us from our normal realities, the realities of work and shopping and business, etc. on Shabbat. That's what we're supposed to do. And by virtue of doing so, we create some holiness in our lives. We strengthen a community. We strengthen our relationship to God. And hopefully we also strengthen relationships with family when we do Kiddush and Motzi, when we light candles on Shabbat and come to synagogue. And that's what we're going to do. You know, a person who is in mourning and is required to stay home during the period of Avelut also is told that they leave their home and they go join the community and they daven, they pray together with the community and they sing the songs of the community and they take time aside from their Avelut. And we also know that Jewish people throughout our history, when we were in very tight and narrow spaces, we would still observe the rituals of our tradition. And that gave us hope, and that also enabled us to focus on who we were essentially. If we were to give that up, then we would be giving up a part of what makes the Jewish people Jewish. The famous Achad Ha'am once said, more than Israel kept Shabbat, Shabbat kept Israel. And we affirm that. So we're going to celebrate tonight Shabbat. We're not celebrating the larger Jewish world, and our minds and our hearts are over there in Israel. And there is a sense of hurting, but yet we will be together for this celebration. Something else, though, because this Shabbat we begin the reading of the Torah all over again. We go back to Breshit, chapter 1, verse 1. Breshit bara Elohim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And questions are asked about every element of Torah. Questions are asked about particular words and particular verses and even particular letters. So obviously the rabbis couldn't leave it alone. Why does the Torah begin with the letter Bet as opposed to the letter Aleph? For Aleph is one, and the oneness of God, the oneness of the universe is so important. Well, they point to other words that Aleph begins, and they aren't the most positive expressions. And they do that because they want to place that in contradiction to Bet, because they say the letter Bet represents the number 2, and 2 represents relationship. And they say relationships and partnerships bring 2 together. Relationships and partnerships are the way that we lift life, the way that we make a statement that being in relationship is about creating peace. And so we now will begin to the Torah with the letter Bet, because we know that at the end of the day, the relationships that we have with each other, with our community, with our people, with the land of Israel, and yes, the relationships that we have with other people are so critical, and we constantly have to think about that. And so as each and every one of us think about the tension, the anxieties that we feel as individuals, we also have to open our hearts to others. We have to listen to what's bothering others, what's making other people so anxious and so tense. We have to be able to enter into relationships in the truest, most honest way, with an open heart, expressing vulnerability and seeing the vulnerability of the people around us. I hope to see you on Shabbat, And yes, even in these days, like Jews throughout the ages, we will celebrate Shabbat together. Shabbat Shalom.